Okay, looks like the camera's working good. We're gonna start off with some yoga and then we're gonna continue on through beginning Kung Fu. And the last thing we had was a combination for two-handed front grab. So we'll just review that and continue on from that because that is part of the lesson 5 from beginning Kung Fu. But since it's always smart to warm up first, we'll do 2 sun salutations and then get into the action. And it's sad to hear about Chuck Norris passing away, but he did a lot of good for the martial arts community, so I'm glad that he's no longer in any kind of medical pain. So thanks to him for putting out martial arts out on the big screen and influencing a lot of people in a positive manner. And I don't want to do yoga on a hard floor or go to yoga mat. Some salutation A. Some salutation B. Move the mat off to the side. So defense, a combination for two-hand front grab. So you're stepping forward. So one hand on each shoulder. Step forward with one foot or the other. And hit upwards and or inside on the inside of the arms. You're not really breaking anything, you're just kind of stunning them. Boom. From there, double ear clap, grab around the head. Whatever foot is forward, you bring that into a knee, boom, and then you're sliding down their shin and stomping on their foot. So that's one side. For the other side, so grabbing, so stepping forward, down, hit the inside of the arms, double ear clap, grab around the neck. This time it's the other foot forward because you never know which side. You're not going to think about that. It's just whatever foot is forward. Knee, pull into knee, and then slide down their shin and stomp on their foot. Horizontal lunge punch. So you're doing that open hand block again. So whatever leg is going up, to do that step forward. The opposite hand is doing that open hand block, stepping forward, and horizontal punch. Even has a nice little diagram for you of the horizontal lunge punch. So the lunge part is lifting that knee and stepping forward. You've got that nice little triangle diagram there. So if it's the right leg that's going up for that step, and it's the other hand that does that block, and then cover, and then stepping forward and punching towards the midline. Yeah, and we'll do the other side as well a couple times. So stepping forward, knee up, hand does that circular block. Stepping forward, cover and punch. And keep that covering hand guarding the midsection, solar plexus. And coming straight from the... So normally karate doesn't do any covering section when they're there. They're just stepping into that punch. But Kung Fu, they've got the knee block happening, the hand block, and then covering. stepping into that punch. So the other hand isn't retracting, but it's doing something to cover the body one more time. And I gotta try and keep that covering hand locked boom. Try and maintain that stance, so it should actually be, a little bit better like that. A little bit tighter on my forward step for that. And roundhouse punch. So the idea, same idea, I guess with some Kung Fu styles, instead of doing just an ordinary step, they're doing an exaggerated step, which could also be. Actually, in this one, it doesn't look like he's actually bringing that knee up. It's a step forward, downward circular block as you draw your arm back, shift your body. Oh, okay. Not so much of a long knee thing, it's more of a stepping and circular punch with that non-covering hand, non-blocking hand. Whatever leg is forward, that's the arm that's going out. So do that from the same side. Do that from the other side now. It's a round punch or a circular punch, roundhouse punch. So it should be going in a circular motion. Poke stance and low punch. Yeah, don't know if I'm going to do that. I'll try it. It's a little acrobatic though, so I don't want to mess up my knee. Hook stance and low punch me. We'll just go through the motions slowly. Okay. How is he doing that? One leg is moving in front of the other and landing. Where's that non-punching hand going? Okay, kind of more landing. Into a crouch. And the non-punching hand is kind of that distraction thing again. Boom. Look, there's Elvis. Jump. And actually, this should be straight. So, look, there's Elvis. And have a micro band in the elbow. Don't block out the arm. Yeah, look, there's Elvis. He's a little bit lower to the ground than I am, but this guy is not 57 years old like I am. And we move to lesson 6. Upward back fist strike and downward palm block. And whatever hand is blocking is the foot that's forward, and the other one is doing the upward back fist. So it's this foot that's going forward into the front stance. The other hand is blocking, and then Mr. Back Fist comes up and boom. Or in the non-knee part, just stepping forward. Step, block, back fist up into the groin maybe. Step, block, back fist. Step, block, back fist. Step, block, back fist. Same time. Play around with the timing on this. Step, block, back fist. Step, block, back fist. Swing that arm up, that is. Step, block, back fist. Just practice that arm motion. Step, block, back fist. Step, step. And try and have your striking arm as relaxed as it can be. There's going to be differences between your right side and your left side, but just try and make it as smooth as possible. Downward hammer fist strike. And it looks like it's preceded by an open hand parry of some kind. And whatever side the foot is, it's the opposite hand that's striking, it looks like. So, boom. And down with that hammer fist. Or if it's in parry, so coming in and parrying, and then landing. And moving that hand out of the way so that the hammer fist can come down. Coming down on the collarbone, I imagine. And again, covering with the non-striking hand, covering your solar plexus, just in case, but he does land a punch, at least you've got that arm and hand to cover as you're delivering, and clearing that arm out of the way and landing down with the hammer fist. And then hammer fist and knife hand combination. So on the base of that first move that we're doing, covering hammer fist, covering hammer fist. And the other one's doing that knife hand to see if it's an alternating. Yeah, it's the other hand that's doing that. So stepping forward, covering, hitting with the knife hand, and with the other hand. So covering hammer fist, knife hand to the throat. This knife hand. Hammer fist. Hammer fist, knife hand. One side's going to be a little more natural to you than the other. I recommend doing twice as long on the side that seems more clumsy to you. Circular back fist. Circular backward hammer fist. Oh, wait, I think I've done this before. I've gone further than this. That's fine. Okay. Circular backward hammer fist strike. I have done this before. I guess this is a review too. So. Boom. And maybe you don't want to step completely back. You want to kind of step diagonally back so that you can land properly to line up that circular hammer fist strike. So you don't want to bring the foot straight back. You want to kind of bring it down at an angle so you can turn. When you turn, you're not walking the tightrope so much. Otherwise, if you just step back, you're kind of putting yourself off at not a good angle. And having that other hand to cover, then regular back fist strike. Distracting with this hand, stepping forward, and then hitting with back fist and covering with that hand that you distracted with. Stepping forward and doing and again, American karate or karate, they usually don't cover their body when they're delivering. They're just stepping in, doing that back fist strike. The old tournament days in the 80s and whatnot, they used to limit their target profile. They would step into a horse stance and they would just do everything off the front leg and front arms. That would be one of their quicker scoring. When they might boom, do a reverse punch, do a side kick off of that. But with the Kung Fu, just cover your solar plexus when you're stepping forward with that hammer fist, maybe distraction, and then distraction, and then cover, and then back fist. Because I think the distraction kind of works a little bit better. Otherwise, if you just go straight into this, they might be able to parry it and counter you quickly. Boom. But if you distract with the hand and then hit with the other hand, just like Chuck Norris, that was one of his favorites, one of his movies. I'm going to give you so many lefts, you'll be begging for a right. So give him the left and then hit him with the right. So that's the sideways back fist strike. And now we're into lesson 7. Spinning reverse roundhouse kick. And yeah, I remember doing this before, so I have done this before, but that's why I'll review it again. Stepping across. From that front stance, it's just going to hold that front stance for a little bit just to strengthen my legs, because really should be strengthening that posture. Stance kicking as opposed to just free sparring kicking from a more upright stance. It's good to work those stances, work those postures. Good for the lower body strength and mobility. So from that free sparring stance, that same kick would be maybe you're throwing a back fist just to catch them off guard, and then boom, and a little bit of a hook at the end. But this one, we're just gonna I have preference towards just straight turning back kick, spinning back kick, but just for the sake of teaching, spinning hook kick, and you might end up landing on the same posture. Whatever you do on one side, you want to do on the other. So let's just hold the other stance for a little bit. And you might find it easier to move the front foot forward, and it'll kind of help you clear the way for that kick. However, taking a little step might telegraph your intention, so try it a few times with that front foot going in, and try it a few times just straight from your stance. And he's kind of swinging his arms out, so you might want to do that for balance, as opposed to you've seen me do the Kuksua one back spin kick, which we do with a straight leg, but this one's more of a hook at the end. Step, turn, and your shoulders and your hips are turning, and then sticking that leg out, and whatever height you can work with on that. And that reverse Roundhouse kick. Pretty sure we've done that one before too. Incorporating that favorite stance of mine, that hooked stance. So. And then, so it's kind of like the one that we just did, only we're doing it without the spin. We're getting the spin from twisting the hips from this wind-up position here, and then doing the kick. Hook stance. That foot is going to be the support legs, and then boom. So it's kind of like if you're in your freestyle position. That's kind of a shortened version of it. You're kind of stepping and then boom. And this is a reverse version of the or roundhouse kick. Back from the other side. Stepping back. Let's do the long version first. And work on that slowly. Like I said, one side might be different than the other. You're doing this. Just up, isolating that movement. You want a little bit of, I'll just show you from the front, you want a little bit of lifting the leg up at an angle and then bringing it across as opposed to just lifting it up and missing part of your kick going that way. But maybe you want to tighten it up a little bit. I could twinge something in my foot. Wearing shoes, you might not have that worry. I'm not going to do the forward splits because that's not happening with my 57-year-old body, but that is part of the curriculum. And then front thrust kick. So we've done the front kick before. Maybe I'll do, instead of that forward leg split, I'll just do crescent lunge instead. Do the crescent lunge instead of the splits. I'm doing it more for the stretch than the balance, so I'm not too worried about putting my hands on my front knee. But the splits, obviously, it would be straight leg, the same motion, bring your pelvis as close to the floor as possible. And so that other kick, instead of kicking with the ball of the foot, it's kicking with the heel. Hitting with the heel, or if you're wearing shoes, hitting with the flat of the shoe. Not the ball of the foot, but the flat of the shoe, or the hitting with the heel, front thrust heel kick. So front thrust heel kick, as opposed to the ball of the foot kick. A little bit of a difference in motion. And especially if you're wearing shoes. If you're wearing shoes, it's not likely you're going to be able to hit with the ball of the foot unless you've got really flexible shoes, but likely, and since Kung Fu was done wearing shoes, it would make sense that they would teach this variation of front kick using the heel at different angles, different heights. And they're actually, I want you to do that. Knee position, then boom, and then back. Pistol squat, I'm not doing that. But they're calling it the single leg squat, but these days they call it the pistol squat. And I'm not particularly skilled at that, so it's a good balancing thing. Okay, and then after the pistol squat, we're into lesson 8. And he's doing it from the horse stance and getting into the elbow strikes now. So inward horizontal elbow strike. Short arcing motion parallel to the floor. What's he saying? Oh, thrown from the horse stance. Well, you can throw it from any stance, but they're just saying for training purposes, throw it from the horse stance. And they're doing it statically just to probably isolate the motion. So kind of a short elbow. So your palm would be facing down and you're hitting like that. And probably covering because it's Kung Fu, so probably cover. Oh no, he's got his retracting hand by the hip. So like I said, we're doing this from a static position. We do this from the other side as well. You want to kind of lift the elbow up, just like that kick that I was showing you. We want to kind of angle attacking them first and then come across instead of just flipping upwards. I mean, that is an elbow strike as well. It's kind of like an upward elbow strike that you do with back fist and punch, but they want you more to be of a circular. So what you could do by stepping forward into a natural stance or stepping from that natural stance, stepping forward, transitioning into the horse stance with that elbow. And front upward elbow strike. And some people like to keep the fist in this position and do the elbow, and some people like to have it like that and hitting up with the elbow. I'm not too sure where I sit on that. I guess whichever way your fist comes up when you're doing that elbow strike. And that's upwards towards the jaw. That's true, I could do that, but usually Kung Fu isn't done wearing shorts, and I have to be careful of Twitch's terms of service, because one time I did a yoga stream and
immediately I got a TOS strike, and if you get 2 or 3 of those, all your work's been completely destroyed. So that's upward elbow strike again from the other side. Otherwise, I would do naked yoga streams, or I would do yoga in my shorts, but that's all it takes is one complaining person to report me, and then next thing you know, I can't stream for 2 weeks or a month, or just permanently. So and downward elbow strike. Backward elbow strike. Besides, my friend, if you're looking for that, maybe you should go to OnlyFans or something, because it's not going to be happening on Twitch, I guarantee you. And at least on OnlyFans, if I did that, I'd be getting paid. No one's bought me a coffee, so I'm not going to take any requests, song or movement or otherwise. Double foot sweep. So I know I did a version of foot sweep in Kuksua 1, but yeet. Maybe I'll just slowly. So you kind of got to get down and then to see which way he's spinning too. Oh, okay. Stepping forward, foot sweep, and then let's see if it works better for me from the other side. Foot sweep, and then the back foot sweep, and you're kind of pivoting on the ground, back into position. Foot sweep, back foot sweep, and up again. It's kind of like the motion. Okay, my viewer, I'm going to ask you to knock it off, or I'm going to take some moderation action, okay? I want this to be a family stream. Sweep, back sweep, something like that. There's an application of the sweep, but I'm not gonna bother with that. Hand defense against rear choke. And defense against rear choke. Just one moment. Hey, my dude, I told you, so I'm going to follow through with what I said. I asked you not to do that. So, rear hand grab. It's not saying what kind of strike, but whatever hand is grabbing you, that's the arm that's coming up. Or, no, actually, I guess it could work either way, but essentially what you're doing is lifting your knee, your arm, swinging around, getting the arm out of the way, and striking. Sweeping out of the way and striking to the midsection. I'm going to say maybe a punch might work better that, or maybe a palm strike. Grab on either shoulder, sweeping the arm and leg around. Maybe you're hitting with that knee, hitting to the midsection. Hand defense with foot sweep. Hand defense with foot sweep. I don't know, maybe I should do OnlyFans. Hand defense with foot sweep, so this time they're facing you. Coming with their arm on this side of you, and you're going to knock it out of the way, stepping forward, doing that open hand parry to begin with. Hand parry to begin with, and then kind of like the judo sweep, judo foot sweep, it's exactly like that. It's the same foot motion. The upper body is doing something different in this particular sense, but stepping forward, parrying that hand out of the way, foot sweep, and then I think they're doing a knife hand. Oh, okay, I think they're doing the knife hand with the same hand, so parry. So whatever foot is stepping forward, if that hand is coming here, we're stepping with the opposite hand, parry, stepping forward, foot sweep, and hitting to the throat. Parry, foot sweep, chop to the throat. Parry, parry. That's why you have to have the 1 foot forward. Whatever foot is forward, the other foot is doing that foot sweep. So you don't have to try and do a foot sweep from your front leg, which doesn't have as much power as opposed to winding up and doing from the rear leg foot sweep. So punch or grab is coming in, stepping forward, parry, foot sweep, and chopping to the throat. Boom. Stepping forward, parry, foot sweep, chop to the throat. Stepping forward, parry, foot sweep, chop to the throat. Stepping forward, parry, foot sweep, chop to the throat. Wow, okay. Lesson 9. Kicking combinations. Roundhouse and reverse roundhouse kick. Roundhouse and reverse roundhouse kick. From the stance, doing stance kicking. Find my stance. Roundhouse and reverse roundhouse. Doesn't show how he's landing, but roundhouse and reverse roundhouse. Roundhouse, reverse roundhouse. You want it to be a little smoother than that. And sometimes your other leg might be roundhouse, reverse roundhouse. On my one side, roundhouse, reverse roundhouse. Sometimes that second kick, though, turns into a hook. But I guess just play around with it. Roundhouse, reverse roundhouse. One more time each side. Roundhouse, reverse roundhouse. Roundhouse, reverse roundhouse. And you'll find where your hands seem to give you the best balance. So that's one of the kicking combinations. Instep and side kick combination. That really looks wacky, but we'll give it a try. Instep and side kick combination. More like a jumping side kick, but So you're kind of doing a bit of a leg switch on that one. And I've seen that in Taekwondo as the kind of like the Taekwondo switch kick. I think that's might be what they're doing. So take the stance, kick, and then side kick or something, instep kick, and then instep, side kick, instep, and then switching in the air, instep, side kick. I don't want to mess my knees up too much by doing that, but I think that's generally the idea. It's the opposite legs that leg that's kicking, but you're doing a hop after you completed the first kick. Front round back kick combination. Front round back kick combination. And it's a rear leg front, and then all those other ones front, round, and back. This is pretty elementary or pretty foundational. Front, round, back, front, round, and back. 2 more times that side. Front, round, and back. Front, round, and back. Do that on the other side. Front, oops. Find my breath, find my stance. Front, round, back. Front, round, back. Front, round, back. Front, round, back. Front, round, and back. Punch and kick combination from horse stance. So, okay. One punch, 2 punch, 3 punch, 4 punch. Let's just work on the footwork of this first. So he's got him facing the side, and then turn the hip, punch again, and punch. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. 1, 2, 3, and 4. One, two. Oh, okay. Okay, let me get that. Footwork is tricky. One, 2, 3, and 4. I think that's how they're doing it. Just slowly get into that.
from the side. One, two, no. One, two, three, and four, I think. One, two, no. One, two, one, two. Yes. One, two, three. That's right, because it's the opposite foot that's kicking. So, one, two. One, two. One, three, and four. Three, and four. You have to have a sense of humor when you're practicing as well, just to lighten up. You're doing the effort, but sometimes things don't quite make sense until afterwards. One, two, three, four. Wrist strikes. And I've done a similar thing. In Kuk-Sul 1, part of it was Mantis Kung Fu, and it's the same wrist position. So this is not completely foreign to me. I've done this wrist position in some of these angles on the strike. Wrist strike's the inward wrist strike. So as again, which side is that coming off? Can't really see where our footwork is, but covering with the one wrist and then hitting. So you're hitting with that bone of the wrist, covering and then hitting on. There's no retraction on that. Just boom, boom. Keep that covering hand where it is. One side, the other side, boom. So that one sequence that I boom, cover, punch, 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 cover, punch, 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 block, mantis, punch, block, mantis, punch, mantis, 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 upward, 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 and then some kind of elbow, arm strike. So it's pretty similar to this. Mantis, mantis, boom, boom, mantis cover strike. So hooking that punch and hitting with mantis hand. 1, 2, or simultaneous. Ideally, you're working towards simultaneous. The punch comes in and immediately you hit them in the temple with that mantis hand, that bent wrist. So straight wrist strike. I don't know how strong that would be, but it's in the book, so we'll, for the sake of posterity, we'll do that.
She's not covering with mantis, she's covering with the open hand this time, and then hitting straight forward with that mantis. I can see maybe if it was coming upward, hitting to the groin, but I don't know how strong that would be going forward. If anything, I think that would injure yourself, but straight wrist strike for posterity. 1, 2, 3, 4. Straight wrist strike. Wow, okay, lesson 10. We're getting there, everybody. As far as this book will teach us, defense against two-handed grab. Oh, okay, and I've done something similar in Cook's 1 before. Oh, except for these follow-ups. So it's kind of getting into Kempo territory. They're stopping the initial attack and then they're following through with a flow. So I just slowly go through this flow. Guy's got his forward hand out and we're hooking that hand, pulling it down towards our wrist and giving Buddy an arm bar. So Buddy's got his hand forward, we're sweeping that arm and locking, and that's just part of the fun, but we'll just work on that first sequence first. And it looks like she's actually, instead of just nicely like a soft stylist kind of meeting that and pulling it down, she's actually slamming down with her body weight and the arm onto that hyperextended arm, pulling it out of the way and forcefully dislocating it instead of just nicely stopping it at its range of motion. Bam. And then she's winding up, so bam, winding up, back fist to the face, and then turning and circular kick or round kick to the opponent who's fell down. So we'll do that nice and slow. Try and do that on both sides, but so first that motion is we're hooking that hand, grabbing at the wrist, contouring, doing a close-up, but his hand is out forward and we're contouring and hyperextending that arm. Forcing our arm to dislocate at their elbow. Down, and then winding up. And you can actually, let me just do this from the side. You can do this without the wind up, or you can do it with the wind up. This is without the wind up. Bam, just without the wind up, just straight into that back fist to the face. Bam, but she's doing a wind up and then boom, and then round kick to the face because he's been keeled over. His arm is busted, and then so bam, 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 and do that from the other side. So just start off, even if you just get the hook in, that's a good defense because it's stopping someone from grabbing you or punching you. Or 1, 2, but you get more out of it if you're at the same time. Bam, wind up or don't wind up.
Back fist to the face. One more time. Bam. Turning kick to the face. You would need to kick high because he's already bent over from that arm lock, ideally. So the other one, kind of similar. Defense against a single hand front grab. Only looks more more like an elbow. Looks like more like an elbow. Then forcing the arm down. So elbow, plant, and reef. So boom, bam, bam. Cover, elbow, plant the hands and reef. There's 3 or 4. But I'm just going to finish off with one of them. This is one I teach in my self-defense, actually. So I'll show you their version of that. And it's a simple elbow against a grab. And I'll show you the version I do, and then I'll call it a stream. There's 3 other ones, but then after that, then they get into a form. But that's pretty much most of the course. So their version, but he's grabbing at you and you're just stepping forward and doing that upward elbow that we did. So before we were doing that upward elbow from front stance. So someone's grabbing at you and just boom, popping them on the head. And you should be able to do that from one side, whatever foot is forward, that's the elbow that's coming up into their jaw. When they try and grab at you, the version I was doing was actually a wrist grab. So wrist to single wrist, opposite wrist on to your wrist, opening up the fingers and then stepping forward and doing that elbow, coming down knife hand. And that's the version, and actually I had the one hand covering as well. But their version, stepping forward, just up nice and quick. My version, being grabbed by your wrist, spread the fingers, have the other hand to cover, upward elbow, and downward knife hand. First, I'm going to have a quick intermission because I have to go potty, and then we'll maybe go find someone to raid everyone. Thanks a lot for joining me. Be right back. looks like my strawberry root part pie is just about ready for eating. Thank goodness, because I am kind of famished. Make some tea too. So everybody, that's been pretty much like there's 2 or 3 things I didn't do at close to the end, and then there's their form. You could probably look it up on look it up on YouTube. In fact, why don't I do that? But that's what takes up a good bad portion of the. So they do the individual stances, punches, blocks, kicks, and whatnot, and grabs, and that, and then they get into their primary form, their first form for their style, Ling Po, continuous stepping fist. So let me find that on YouTube, and I'll put that up in chat. I'm not going to demonstrate it to you because I've done the individual techniques, but I've not chained them together in their particular manner. The footwork is kind of tricky, so I don't want to butcher their form until I've at least practiced it a bunch of times. But now that particular style is called Thai Mantis. And this looks like someone who's doing it better than I am. Smoother technique, so put that link up. So that's the form that's included in that book. And it's getting chilly, so I'm going to close my window, get some tea ready, and heat up my pie. Okay, I see. Here we go, rating everybody. Thanks a lot for joining me. One last message.